Hello and welcome to your week 6 combo. How is everybody feeling? We are officially halfway through this program, and I gotta say, if you've made it this far, you should be immensely proud of yourself. This is not easy training. I mean, you are trying to do highly skilled movements at speed with a very large and awkward object. And let's be honest, this is an entirely new form of training. There is no other program out there like this Intro to Swordlifting program. So hey, welcome to it. You're a trailblazer, and if you've made it all the way to the week 6 combo, you have firmly proven your place amongst the swordlifting community. Congratulations, we love you're part of the Clan Gang, and let's get to training. So this week, the combo is called the Evil Stepsister. And I call it that not just because it ends with a step swing at the end of the combo, but also because you have a whole bunch of new stuff you're doing today. So it could prove to be a little bit evil. Heads up. Some of the new moves that we've learned this week is this mid-guard position, something that we'll be starting the combo with. Then a forward step into a quarter loop swing. I know we had some skill combos during the swing days that was helping us prepare for that. Then we have this cross lunge guard. There it is right now, actually. Yeah, just a lunge guard, but you're going to have your hands in the opposite grip relationship than what you're used to. And the sword's going on the outside of your front leg instead of inside. Then we'll be finishing the combo with the step swing, the namesake of this combo. Our first time doing a step swing, and I'll say that step swing is a great mark of mastery. It's a more advanced swing. It requires a little bit more awareness of positioning, footwork, and it's something that can look really flashy when you do it well. So yeah, if you master that today, consider this a pretty awesome combo to defeat. Some combo breakers I expect to happen for people will likely be these forward quarter loops. Some athletes struggle with the timing of the step into the swing. This cross lunge guard, it might trip people up. You're going backwarded, it's upside down to what you're used to, and you got to do this little reverse snatch right out of it. So this cross lunge guard reverse snatch, that'll be something to look out for. And then lastly, the step swing. Did not make it easy this week. One of the most complex swings that we just learned this week, and you're going to be doing it to finish the combo. So you got to get through all of this before you can even try that. Yeah, we'll talk about strategy, how to tackle it though. First, let's watch this combo. Okay, that is our week 6 combo, the Evil Stepsister. Hopefully she doesn't look too evil for you. We'll be opening up with a mid-guard position. That's a new guard we learned this week, so let's do a quick review. Our feet are in their typical positioning, rear foot, 45-degree angle, lead foot pointing straight ahead in line with our center line. The sword itself is perfectly vertical. I want the mid guards to look really pretty. Sword going straight up and down. Our hands are in a goofy position. Usually in our front guard, our top hand matches the same side as our lead foot. But in a mid guard, it's switched. Our top hand matches our rear foot, our bottom hand matches our lead foot. That opens us up to do different positions in the future. In fact, we've got a swing, I think, coming up, the X swing, that is only done out of mid guard. So an important one to get down. I'm glad you're getting some practice with it early. Now, going out of our starting position of mid guard, we are opening with 2 forward steps into quarter loop swings. Let's talk about 2 things with this movement. First off, terminology. You're landing in a guard position. Do you remember what this is called? This is important to get down because I actually changed the terminology partway through developing this program. During the tutorial, it's called a back guard, but what I actually am calling this now is a choke guard. And then out of the choke guard, we do another quarter loop swing, landing on the other side of our back, this would be called a corner guard. So real quick, just to make sure we're all familiar, choke guard into corner guard, and then we backswing out of it. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's talk about timing with the swing and the step, with a forward step into a quarter loop swing. When I'm doing my first one, you can see I'm basically completing my swing before I even let my rear foot leave the ground. Then it pivots ahead into this choke guard position. Once I'm in this choke guard, it bounces off the shoulder. And you notice something different there? I'm starting my step at the beginning of the swing. That's largely because I have the sword over this foot. Driving through the leg is an easy way to get some initial momentum to feed into the forward step, quarter loop swing, finishing our first two movements of the combo. Let's keep moving. So we do a backswing to now leave that corner guard position. And notice with the backswing, I'm using the contact of my shoulder against the flat of the sword to pop it off the shoulder. It's an easy way to just leverage down, pulling with this bottom hand, using my shoulder as a fulcrum to get that tip out and away, feeding into a diagonal swing, ending into our cross lunge guard. So let's talk about this cross lunge guard. We are dropping down into a lunge position, right? So right angles in both of our legs, but our grip is goofy. Our top hand is on the same side as our rear foot. So in order to drop down into this lunge, the sword has to go outside the lead leg. It's a bit of a stretch. It requires some cross-lateral strength, but it's going to be an important move going forward into our future combos. So now check out this transition. There's some cool stuff going on here mechanically. We're starting in a cross lunge guard, but we're going into a reverse stance, a footwork movement. And that is where we spin on our feet to do a full 180, changing where we're facing on our center line. So we're in this cross lunge guard. We come out of it, spinning on the feet, turning that momentum, changing the position of the sword, making it into a snatch swing, going down on the other side, landing in a lunge guard position. Now, did you notice? We are now back into a standard grip position. We went from goofy position over here in the cross lunge guard, and by doing the 180, turning it into a snatch swing, we are landing in a proper lunge guard, which then opens us up to be able to do a whole bunch of our usual swings. Kind of cool, right? All right, so now that we've transitioned, we're into a standard hand position. Our top hand is matching our lead foot. We are able to go into some real familiar territory. We're going thrust into downswing into the step swing, which, okay, that's not familiar, but whatever. Thrust and down. You know what to do there. And this is actually a really good display of something I would like you to start focusing on more during your combos, which is rounding the corners off the individual movements so they can start flowing right into each other. Notice that as I'm coming out of this lunge guard, I'm popping right away. That momentum is immediately getting communicated. So as I'm coming up to that top standing position, I'm already at the peak of a thrust swing. The thrust swing doesn't go back down to front guard. It's immediately being rotated, pulled, using the momentum of that extended position falling to feed into the downswing. And you can see the downswing isn't even completed before I'm priming myself. I'm getting my body ready to turn and initiate that step swing. So yeah, I would love to start seeing that more and more in your combos as we're going into the second half of this program. Learning how to feed every single swing into the next so it's seamless. It really is just one sword moving continuously throughout the positions and swings. All right, so let's do a quick review of step swing, and then we'll get you out there doing the combo yourself. Step swing starts by having that rear foot swing behind you, and then it comes up in front of what was once the lead foot. Then when you're in that 180 position, having now turned, you bring that initial lead foot forward again to now be in the same position, but 2 steps ahead of you. Now you'll notice something on this. All right, so I do the step, I swing it around, I land, I swing the second foot around to land forward. But what happened right there? I lost my center line. I'll call myself out. I don't care. So yeah, my center line is basically in parallel with this walkway. And you can see my first step, bringing my rear foot ahead of me, is not bad. Maybe I could have been a little bit more forward, but I'm more or less on the center line. But then the second step, that foot does not the full rotation. I would have preferred to have it end somewhere around here to make it a really nice and pretty step swing. Admittedly, it was kind of a footwear problem. My shoes had no rotational grip on this metal walkway. It was a little wet out. Which is actually a good thing to say. Be safe during your own combos. Step swings, man, you are really needing a solid connection with the ground. If your training area is slippery or there's stuff you can trip on, please be safe. I would hate for you to do a step swing and turn it into a hospital trip. So that is the first component of a step swing, is the footwork, being able to step. And the second component is where the sword actually is. So during that first step, when you land in this new position, ideally you're in a shoulder guard. Now, this is, everything's kind of melting into each other. So this isn't very distinct. But yeah, I've got it on my shoulder and I'm using my shoulder to pop it off for that second portion of the step swing so it lands into a front guard position, completing the swing. So down swing, boom, bam, step swing. So that is the evil stepsister combo. My suggestions on how to tackle it would be to get these forward steps into quarter loop swings first. Do a couple reps of that, make sure they feel good. And once that starts to lock in for you, start to work into these other movements. From there, I would probably just go down the list and just discover where do you find yourself starting to have some hiccups. But if you know for a fact that step swing is tricky for you, I would suggest getting just a couple practice reps with this before you try to do the whole sequence. Don't go into this without any expectations of the way it's going to feel. Make sure to warm up, have fun trying it out. And I'll say that if you haven't started to film your combos yet, let's get you doing it now. You're 6 weeks into this, and I promise you will notice a lot of stuff that you can improve with on your combos when you watch back the tape. And I would also like to say it, post it. If you're all the way into your week 6 combo, you should be very proud of how you're looking. So go ahead and post it. Tag me at Game of Harmony. Put a hashtag on it, intro to swordlifting program. Let's all share our progress into this really cool training journey.